Welcome to another edition of Cybersecurity Divas Leadership Moments with Lendrell Downs. Today's edition is brought to you by Fortify Experts, a cybersecurity search and consulting firm that helps companies build high-performing security and risk teams. Now here's Lynn.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lendrell Downs. I'm actually founder of Cybersecurity DIVAS, and I have Naomi Buckwalter on the line. Hi, Naomi. What you doing today? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, Lynn. Just surviving a pandemic. How about you?
Same here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's my first ever pandemic. I think I'm doing okay.
I love it. All right. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Naomi. Hey, everyone. Naomi Buckwalter. I am a director of information security and IT with Beam Technologies, and our mission is to make smarter dental care easier for everyone. So I have been doing technology since I was, 16, 17 when I started coding in HTML, and I've been doing security since 2006 and loving it ever since. So yes, I turned 40 this year, Lynn, so boo.
So can you kind of tell me about your journey in information technology or cybersecurity?
So I actually started picking out technology when I was little, and I was always fascinated by anything electronic. So when I decided on a major for college, decided on computer engineering because I like computers. Why not? I really didn't even know what it meant to be a computer engineer, and I still kind of don't, because when I graduated college, I ended up getting a software engineering job. And if you know the difference between the two, which I did not, they are worlds apart. So I actually ended up getting a job. I probably had to learn quickly, but it was interesting. So I did software engineering for about 5 years and then took a class in hacking. And I fell in love, head over heels with hacking. And I decided this is what I wanted to do. Fell in love with security. And so went up to the security manager at the company I was in. And gratefully, he actually had a spot open for a senior level security person. And I said, oh, I'm not really qualified, but can you have me anyway? I really want to join your team. And he said no. And I was really disappointed, but I ended up bugging him about the position. I said, you know what? You still haven't filled in this role yet. Can I join your team? And so I kept coming back to him probably every few days. And I was just very, very insistent, I guess is a good word. But I was annoying. Lynn. I was very annoying. And I said, you need me on your team. When can I get on your team? And he said, fine, I'll give you an interview. And he ended up creating a position just for me. And that's how I got into security. It's because someone gave me a chance.
Okay, all right. Have any mentors played any part or a big part in cybersecurity and getting you where you are today?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So when I first started, I actually was given a mentor within the team. I was given training classes, opportunities, and took certifications, boot camps. I went to conferences and I met industry giants. I learned from the best, really. And so I did have mentors, but I would say it's not something I've had consistently throughout my career. I've had to reach out to people and ask for mentorships. But yeah, currently I have a handful of mentors. And I'm always grateful to be able to talk to them. I also mentor others. And so just passing down knowledge to the next generation.
All right. Who has been your greatest mentor?
Well, that's a great question. I have several people that I would want to say they were the greatest. They are great because in different aspects of my life. So I have a coach for just executive coaching. I have one for CISO, for security leadership. I have one for leadership in general, especially as a female. So I have a female mentor. And I would say all the different combinations of mentors that I've had in the past has really helped me out. So I can't really say, sorry, Lynn, who I have for just my number one mentor. I don't want to hurt any feelings. But I certainly have a great number of awesome mentors. The one that's influenced me most recently, Kimberly Grass, is the VP of Customer Success over at Energage, is the company I was just at. And I would say Byron Peebles, he was my mentor over at Vanguard. He recently retired, but he was the senior systems manager. I forget his title, some fancy title. Yeah, those are the two that really stick out right now. I looked at Burke, she was my coach. Yeah, there's a lot of great people there.
Yeah, that's cool. I was just kind of looking at your profile of CISOs. So you're a virtual CISO?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Can you kind of explain how that works? Because some people just see CISO. So being a vCISO, what's the difference?
So a vCISO just stands for virtual CISO or fractional CISO, and we're basically consultants, but we consult at the executive level, and we give out advice and guidance to executive teams who might not have a security team. So I work with startups, very small teams, and mid-sized companies who have security questions. And I have a couple of clients right now, but yeah, that's kind of more of a side project I spend on my off hours for sure. Yeah.
All right. Have there been other, say, women in cybersecurity which provided influence on you other than your other friend?
Yeah, I would say I'm really impressed with the ladies out there who just don't care what other people think about them. And it took me so long to get to this point in my life where I was just always constantly wanting to be liked. And it was terrible. It just like was the worst feeling ever when anybody would just be like, well, no, like I don't like you, right? And like I couldn't control it, and I felt like I needed to. So growing up, I felt like as a female, you needed to be liked, you needed to be friends with everyone. And that was just a massive struggle for me in a lot of ways. And it wasn't until recently, I would say, like even within the past couple of years, that I was still trying to be liked by people I didn't even like. So I really appreciate when I see people out there on social media or, you know, just in the community who are brave enough to just say their mind and don't care what other people think. And I've kind of modeled my presence online kind of that way, where I'm like, hey, now I'm just going to say what I feel. And I've always felt this way, but now it's time to actually say it because I don't care how other people are going to take it. And like, obviously I'm not trying to hurt feelings, but I will call it out when the way I see it. So, and I feel like more of us should do that.
So what was the greatest challenge with getting to the level you are today?
I think I probably just got in my own way. So, you know, like starting out, you know, I've been doing this for a while now, but starting out definitely not having the soft skills, definitely low on the EQ, emotional intelligence scale. I was probably like the worst one in the room, right? But at the same time, I thought I was one of the smartest people in the room, and I let everyone know I was like the brilliant asshole. And I learned a lot of tough lessons just because I couldn't get a lot done. It was interesting to me where I would come in and I knew the answer, just like in school. You know the answer. You get all the questions right on the exam. And that's how I approached life. I had the answers for everything. And not until I became a mom, honestly, where I realized like, you know, I don't know anything. Being a mom was like an eye-opener for me. I absolutely had no idea what I was doing. And that kind of that thinking just pervaded the rest of my life, my professional life, my friendships, where I finally took a step back away from myself and I said, you know, you need to start learning how people perceive you because your soft skills need a lot of work, Naomi. So I realized that, and I've been working on it ever since. So I would say like I had my awakening 7.5 years ago with the birth of my son. He's sitting right there eating right now.
Yeah. Okay, great. What could you consider one of your major career mistakes that you've made since you've been in cybersecurity?
I would say probably not building bridges and relationships the way that security professionals really need to. So again, just making those decisions without getting buy-in, building bridges with the business, understanding the business's goals. I was very much driven into like, oh, there can't be enough security. Like this is all you need to do. All you have to do is this and this and this, and not realize there's a balance needed. So it's a good analogy I like to use is a cart before the horse. So sometimes you'll hear a lot of security folks kind of want to be leading the business. And I absolutely came from organizations where security is more important than the business. And it's a really tough on the ego to take a step back and say, no, we are a service for the business. We are here to serve. We are here to enable you to do your best work. And I will take a backseat. I'm happy to take a backseat. But it took me quite a long time to realize that. And I would say I appreciated those lessons because I wouldn't be where I am without them, for sure.
Okay, so this being a male-dominant world, how did you maneuver through it in cybersecurity?
I always wondered this, but you know, I got lucky in some respects where people sometimes give me too much benefit of the doubt, right? And be like, well, we need a female. She seems fine. We might as well hire her. Like I've absolutely been in those positions where I was given opportunities because of my gender, but I've never really experienced the opposite where like I've been shut out of opportunities. So in a lot of ways, I feel like being a female at the time that I was in the area I was in, it's very specific to my experience, but I don't feel like being a female has held me back. If anything, I think I was given more opportunities and more benefit of the doubt because I'm an underrepresented voice. and they just wanted to hear from me. And so the more confident I got in that, I was just able to speak out more, represent female voices more. And I was just given more opportunities, I think. I'm not saying like I shouldn't have or I should have, but it's a blessing for sure, yeah.
Yes, that's actually a very good thing. I mean, I've talked to several women, and some had struggles and some haven't. So, it just depends on where you are, be in the right place in the right time.
I agree.
Yeah, so your birthday primarily is security and privacy, correct?
Yes, so I was a security and privacy director at Energage, a mid-sized company that does HR technology, and I led all security and privacy management activities, I guess is the nice way of saying it. And I also own the IT team, so a very small team, but got a lot done. Excellent place to work for sure.
Okay, great. So what advice would you give any other up-and-coming diva pursuing information security or cybersecurity career?
Oh, great question. So actually females have a superpower, and that's our ability to make relationships and build trust with people. And you definitely want to lean into that, because when I grew up, I actually was more of a tomboy. I played a lot of sports. I didn't wear makeup. I didn't do any of that. I just was me. And I was very, very boyish. I had a very dominant personality, type A, and I would say that probably did not translate well into the business world. So if you're coming up and you're feeling this way, why are people ignoring me? It's honestly because people expect a certain package, and if they see a female, they expect a certain kind of personality. So you almost have to play a little game, and you have to kind of tweak your personality just a tiny bit. You're not selling yourself out, but you are just molding your personality into honestly what people expect, but it actually works. So you're not selling yourself out, but you are changing a little bit of how you approach the world and how people see you. And again, perception is reality. So if people see you as hard to understand, hard to get through, too much type A, you really can't. So in this way, it's actually bad for you, and you can't get your point across, and you can't build relationships. And lean into the superpower of women being able to build trust and build relationships is critical in building a security career. And if you want to be a leader in security, your emotional intelligence has to be through the roof. You cannot just be technical.
Yeah, that is so true. So I noticed that you actually have worked at Siberia, one of the schools out there teaching cybersecurity, on top of being the director, hands-on education. I see you got your master's and everything, and a lot of certifications. So what's the balance, you think, with educations or the certifications? You got people just getting certifications. What do you think the differences in that?
Tough one. I mean, really just depends on the job and the hiring manager and what you're looking to do. But in general, it won't hurt to get a certification or get a degree. That's never going to hurt you. In fact, it's going to help you if you want to try to get jobs and to grow in your career. But I don't think it's necessarily it's not required to do well in the job. It might be required to get the job, and that's a whole different conversation. I don't think it's required to do well in the job. So as long as you are able to network and build relationships and people can recommend you for jobs, you probably could get a job without a certification, without a degree, but it is a lot harder to get people to really trust you without having that certification, without having that degree. So it is just another step that just says, hey, I have, built 4 years in my college. I was able to pass this thing and I can study and I can work along on my own. So the certification does help, but I would say it's not required to do awesome in cybersecurity.
Okay. All right. So what skills did you teach? I'm just asking at Siberia.
Well, that's actually to be determined, because I was trying to create a GDPR course and it honestly was not enough for what they needed. They needed a longer course. I ended up creating it too short. So we are right now looking for something that is a little better fit for what I am trying to do, which is really just build the next generation of cybersecurity leaders.
Okay, cool. Love that. Well, I'm going to take it off topic a little bit. What's the last show you binge watched?
Wow. I think on Amazon, there's The Boys. There's a superhero show where the superheroes are the bad guys. I really like that show. That was fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there a favorite book or the last book you read?
Yeah, I'm currently binging on security leadership books. So I have a stack of them. I got them for Christmas, and I've just been reading a few chapters of each one. So the one on my nightstand now is by Chris Lapping. Forget the title. Gosh, security leadership. It's why, asking why, getting to the... I'll have to get back to you on that one. But Chris Lapping, give me 1 second to see if I can pull it out of my brain. Nope, not happening. But yeah, So I read maybe a couple pages a night, help me fall asleep a little bit. But yeah, just a little bit every day really helps.
Okay. So what would you consider the biggest concern about the current state of preventing cyber attacks?
The current state of preventing. So that one's a tough one because we are probably not doing so well, right? Like there's a reason why we keep getting breached, and there's probably a lot of reasons why. So there's probably a lot of reasons why we're not doing so well with just protecting our data. But one is just we're understaffed. There's too many openings, too much work to do, and the teams that are doing the hiring are actually not picking out the entry-level folks. They're only hiring people within the cohort of experienced cybersecurity professionals. So there's absolutely a pipeline problem where we're not letting people in. We're not breaking down the gates to let new entrants in. And I get that. There's a lot of risk there. But if we think about it, in the future, when we retire, there's no one behind us, right, Lynn?
Right.
So you have to start the effort now. And yeah, it's going to take some effort. I will say it's not going to be easy. But if we don't train the next generation of cybersecurity professionals, like what will be there after we leave? The people that trained me are still in the workforce. The people that brought me up are still there. But when they leave and I take their place as a security leader, which is now the roles that I'm filling in, security leadership, who's going to come back behind me? And I don't see that happening, Lynn. I really don't. Like there is a problem. And I think it's because we don't have enough cybersecurity people is why we are getting breached still. We're just not good at keeping up with the scale of it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Being a recruiter, every positions are executive level positions, people with 5, 6, 10 years of experience. Trying to find those junior people is kind of hard these days. There's no jobs for them right now. So that's the bad thing.
I know, there's no jobs. And I did some research on this. I analyzed 1,000 random LinkedIn jobs for cybersecurity. And it turns out only about 20% of them are entry level or below. And the rest of them are mid-senior or above. So, the number of jobs just aren't there at the entry level. And I always argue this because there's entry level work in every single aspect of cybersecurity. There is not one thing that requires 5 years of experience or a CISSP or a master's degree. And if you look at the average job description on LinkedIn, it requires 5 years of experience with a CISSP and a college degree. So all three of those things, and we're saying all three of those things before you get a job in cybersecurity is literally impossible. You cannot get a job in cybersecurity without first having a job in cybersecurity. And that is ridiculous. So I am here fighting for more entry-level folks simply because I want to retire, Lynn. I simply want to retire on the beach and relax with a mojito and play with my grandkids. That's all I want.
I totally understand that. Totally. So where do you see the biggest opportunity to improve cybersecurity?
Yeah, this would exactly be it. Like we need to work on our soft skills and emotional intelligence. There's a lot of people with that old style of thinking, like security is just technical. All you have to do is secure a system and go home. But it's really about the balance of what the business and organization needs, and you'll never have 100% security. So yeah, if we work on the emotional intelligence, we can actually end up getting security work done, not through the security team, but through other people who don't normally do security. So we spread the load and the work throughout the organization. Now everyone's responsibility, security is everyone's responsibility, and everyone picks up the parts that the security team normally does. And it's really, really cool. You end up scaling your security team, not by people on the team, but throughout the organization. And then you end up building security advocates, security champions who do security activities on behalf of the security team. And so it's a lot easier. Less people burn out. There's less stress, less overwork. Generally, the security is better throughout the organization because there's no holes.
That's actually a great observation. I love that. So Naomi, I want to say thank you so much for being a diva. A lot accomplished. You are a driven, inspirational, visionary woman that has taken action in security, and I applaud you. And you have anything else you would like to say?
Oh, well, thank you so much for this. This was really fun. It was nice meeting you. Any women who are out there listening, like I am here rooting for you. I want to see and hear more of you. So if you put yourself out there and make yourself visible, good things will happen. So just go ahead, get us the representation that we deserve.
Yes, you will get it. All right, and thank you again.
All right, thank you.
All right.